Imagine this. You're standing in front of a man who has everything a man is supposed to have. A wife, a family, a stable life, a reputation. From the outside, he's complete, steady, secure. But then he sees you, and that's where everything starts to shift. Because the way he looks at you isn't the way a man looks at someone passing by. It's the kind of look that lingers, that stirs, that awakens something he thought was long gone before he speaks, before he moves, before he even knows what's happening. His body reacts, his breath slows, his eyes darken, and in that pause, in that brief unspoken moment, something deep inside him begins to unravel. He wants you, not in a shallow, passing way, not because you're simply beautiful or tempting, but because being near you makes him feel alive. You trigger something he's buried, a part of him he's forgotten, a hunger he can't explain, even to himself. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows in size." That's what's happening to him. He resists you. He tries to pull back. He tells himself he shouldn't feel what he feels, that he has a life, commitments, promises. But the more he pulls away, the more you live inside him. You don't even have to do anything. You could just sit there, silent, and still he feels it. The air changes when you're near. His heartbeat shifts, time bends a little. He walks away, but something follows. A thought, a scent, a memory. You are not just a woman to him. You are a mirror. You reflect back to him the parts he no longer shows to the world. His forgotten passion, his curiosity, his masculine fire. With you, he feels seen in a way that frightens him, and excites him, and shakes the foundation of the life he's built. He's married. Yes, but in his marriage, there are rules, roles, routines. In his marriage, he knows who he is supposed to be. But with you, he doesn't know anything. And that mystery, that loss of control, that rawness, it pulls him in like gravity. You speak, and he listens differently. You laugh and he forgets where he is. You touch his hand and it's like the first time anyone ever touched him. He will try to stay away. He will tell himself stories about loyalty and responsibility. He will convince himself you're a phase, a distraction, a temptation. But at night, when he's alone, it's not his wife he imagines. It's you. The way you smiled when you looked at him, the heat in your silence, the connection that didn't need words. He wants you in ways he doesn't understand, because this isn't just about attraction. It's about awakening. You woke up the man beneath the husband, the soul beneath the mask, the fire beneath the stone, and once that fire starts burning again, it's hard to pretend it never existed. This is the part no one talks about. The emotional collision between the life he chose and the life he secretly craves. With you, he feels a kind of intimacy that no amount of years, rings, or routines can replicate. Not because you're trying to replace anyone, but because you never asked him to be anything. You just made him feel, and feelings like that don't fade. They Hornthal walk into his house and hear your voice. He'll sit across from his wife and feel the absence of what he felt with you. He'll make love to someone he committed to, and his body will obey, but his soul will be somewhere else. He's not proud of this. He's not evil. He's human, torn between the safety of what he built and the fire of what he found. Jung believed that the unconscious doesn't lie, that even if our conscious mind denies, the body reveals what's true. That's why he trembles when he sees you, why he stumbles over his words, why his hands shake when he's near you. May think he's playing. You may think he's cruel, but the truth is he's scared, because you're not just a woman he desires. You're the truth he tried to bury. And truth always returns. In dreams, in silence, in moments when the mind is too tired to pretend. That's when he remembers you, not as a fantasy, but as the only thing that ever made him feel real. Even if he never says it, even if he never acts on it, even if life keeps him tied to what's expected, he wants you in ways he can't even explain, because sometimes the most powerful connections aren't the ones we act on. They're the ones we feel with every nerve, every breath, every heartbeat. And when he looks at you again, he won't see just a woman. He'll see the life he never had the courage to choose. And the most complicated part is this: he doesn't understand why it's you. He can't explain it. You didn't chase him. You didn't even try to impress him. You were just being you. And somehow, that's what got under his skin. The way you carry yourself. The way you speak without needing to be loud. The calm power. In your silence, you have something that his life no longer gives him. Something soft but unshakable. Feminine but powerful. He doesn't see you as a replacement. He sees you as an awakening, and the more he tries to push you away, the more he realizes how deeply you live in him. Because this isn't about attention, it's about energy. Your energy pulls at his soul, and no matter how hard he tries to stay logical, something deep inside keeps returning to you. He sits at dinner with his wife and hears your laughter. He drives to work and remembers how your eyes held him in complete silence. He touches his phone and wishes it was your name lighting up the screen. He may never admit this. He may keep playing the role he was given, but inside, something is breaking. Not because you broke it, but because you showed him what was already missing. You reminded him of something he stopped believing in. The part of him that could still feel, still burn, still tremble in the presence of something real. This kind of connection doesn't come often, and it doesn't depend on time or logic. It doesn't care if you've known each other for years or just a few moments. It happens outside the rules, outside the schedule, outside the life he built. And even if he never crosses that line with you physically, even if he holds himself back emotionally, he already did, because a part of him belongs to you now, and he knows it when he sees your face in the crowd, when he replays your last conversation, when his wife touches his arm and it doesn't make him feel anything. That's the cruel truth of emotional awakening. Once the soul feels what it was made for, it can't unfeel it. It can't forget the person who triggered it too. Didn't mean to do this. You didn't try to ruin anything. You were just being yourself. But being yourself was enough to change everything inside him. And that's what scares him the most, because for the first time in years, he wants something he can't have, not because it's forbidden, but because it's too real. And real feelings don't come with guarantees, they come with consequences. So he stays, but he aches. He smiles, but it's forced. He loves his life, but misses yours. He sleeps beside someone, but dreams of the moment your hand brushed his heat. Married, but a part of him is already yours, and he doesn't even know how to stop it. Before we go deeper, here's something that might change how you see all of this. If you've ever been the woman who awakened something in a man that even he couldn't name, the Jung Method can help you understand the unconscious forces at play and how to finally take your power back. The link is pinned in the first comment. You didn't choose to fall into this. You didn't ask for a connection that defies logic. But now, here you are, feeling something that the world says you shouldn't feel. Wanting someone you know you cannot have. Not because it's immoral, not because you're careless, but because there is something so undeniably real. You can't walk away without feeling like you're leaving a part of yourself behind. And what no one tells you is this: the man you stirred awake feels the same. He may not say it. He may not act like it. He may stay cold, stay quiet, stay loyal to his image. But inside, the conflict is louder than anything else. His mind says no, but his body says yes. His life is full, yet he feels empty without your presence. You didn't seduce him with your body. You seduced him with your soul. That's what makes this different. That's what makes it harder to forget, because he doesn't crave you the way a man craves a conquest. He craves you like a man craves oxygen after being underwater for too long. You're not his escape. You are his remembrance of who he used to be, or who he wanted to become, but never had the space to be. He sees you, and something deep inside him says yes. Yes to passion. Yes to truth. Yes to being more than the role he plays in everyone else's life. But that yes comes with guilt, with resistance, with fear. Because if he admits what he feels, even to himself, the foundation he stands on starts to crack. And if that foundation breaks, everything he built might fall. His marriage, his reputation, his carefully ordered world. So he fights it. He becomes distant, cold, sometimes even cruel. He withdraws not because he doesn't care, but because he cares more than he knows how to handle. And when he avoids you, it's not a lack of feeling. It's the presence of too much feeling all at once. He can't stand being near you without wanting more. He can't stay away without missing you in every breath. And so he lives in a kind of emotional limbo, where he belongs to one life but dreams of another. A life where he gets to feel again, where he gets to be wanted, not for what he provides, but for who he is at his core. That's what you gave him. The feeling of being chosen, not out of duty, but out of desire. And it wasn't just about your body, it was the way you listened, the way you made him feel seen when no one else truly looked. He tells himself to forget, to move on, to do the right thing. But forgetting isn't possible when every version of joy he now knows is tied to you. He tries to fill the silence with distractions, with obligations, with routine, but silence always returns. And in that silence, He feels you, he remembers how you smiled without effort, how you spoke with presence, how you made the air feel electric with just your energy. You became a reference point, a contrast, a before and after. Before you, he was asleep. After you, he could never return to numbness. This is the heartbreak no one talks about. Not just yours, his too. Because deep inside, he knows he missed something. Not because he was unfaithful, but because he stayed loyal to a life that no longer reflected his truth. And maybe he made the right choice on paper, but in his soul, he knows he made the safe one, and it kills him because he loves her. But with you, he feels alive. That sentence is heavy, but it's real. Love is not always enough when it becomes routine. Safety is not always peace when it becomes silence. Loyalty is not always truth when it denies the soul he may never leave. He may never call, he may never confess, but he'll always remember, because no matter how hard he tries, he cannot unknow the way you made him feel. He cannot erase the part of him that you touched without even trying. This is why you feel his energy pull you in and push you away. Why his eyes say what his words won't. Why his body still betrays him when you're near. You didn't ruin his life, you reminded him of it. You didn't seduce a married man. You awakened a man who was already lost inside his own silence, and maybe that's what hurts the most. Not the fact that he didn't choose you, but the fact that deep inside, you know he wanted to. You know he thought about it. You know he imagined the life you two could have had, and still, he walked away. Because sometimes, people don't choose what sets their soul on fire. They choose what keeps them from burning. But the truth never dies. It lingers in his dreams, in the quiet moments between conversations, in the way his heart pauses when your name is mentioned, in the way he avoids certain places because they remind him of your presence. He lives with it just like you do. The ache of almost the weight of what could have been the echo of a moment that was too real to last, and you're left wondering if any of it was real. Let me tell you this: if it made you feel something deep, it was real. If it shook you awake, it was real. If you still carry it, even now, then it wasn't just a fantasy. You were not imagining things. You were not being naive. You were not delusional. You were the flame he couldn't touch, but couldn't stop staring at. And you will always be that, not because he said it, but because you felt it, and he never needed words to know the truth. The hardest part is accepting that some connections were never meant to be lived. Only felt. Some love stories never get chapters, only memories, but that doesn't make them less powerful. It makes them unforgettable. He's married, but a part of him still lives in that moment with you. A moment that changed everything, even if nothing happened. A moment that spoke louder than any kiss, that shook deeper than any touch, that lingered longer than any goodbye. Maybe you'll never see him again. Maybe he'll never say a word, but the next time he lies awake at night, eyes open, heart full, soul aching, he won't be thinking of what he has. He'll be remembering what he lost, what he never allowed himself to have, what he still carries. You asterisk. And that's the secret. He'll never admit that while he chose stability, he silently craved the chaos of feeling something real again. You weren't a risk to him. You were a reminder that his soul was still capable of pulsing, still capable of reaching for more. Even after all the years of pretending to be fine, he'll carry you like a secret prayer. One he repeats without sound. One he hides behind routines and responsibilities. But no matter how far he runs from it, some truths don't go away. They live beneath the surface, quietly rewriting everything. You didn't need to be his future to be his turning point. Some women are not meant to be chapters. They are the book he never had the courage to read, and maybe he'll live the rest of his life denying it, smiling for pictures, showing up for birthdays, telling himself he did the right thing. But when his soul whispers the truth, it won't be her name that echoes back. It will be yours, because sometimes one connection is enough to break through a lifetime of numbness, and you were that one.